So this is part 2 of my 2026 planning session that I am having for myself, and this is just like a working session. It's nothing that is being finalized. I hope I'm gonna like share the original video where I kind of told my story and I kind of shared a little bit about where I'm at in 2026 and how I'm trying to redefine like my goals and achieve the things that I want to achieve in 2026, which are like availability and presence for my family. I am in the sandwich generation, and so I have the needs of little ones. I have a 6 year old and a 2.5 year old. How do I meet their needs? They're like really forming their core identities and their core memories at this age. And so because I recognize the importance of that, I am trying to be in my best place emotionally, mentally, physically, so that I can be in my best place for them to help them navigate their core formulation of their identity while also being of service to society and making income and being a daughter slash daughter-in-law slash cousin slash auntie, slash friend who also need me or may want me and may need my support. How do I create space in my life to be present for them? Those are the big picture goals. So how do I be of service to society? How do I be of service to my family? And how do I like make income without having to trade time for money? Like those are the big picture goals for me. And so that's big picture goal, not only for 2026 but like 2026 and beyond, right? Like as a 48-year-old who has hustled and grinded her whole life, like that is I'm that is not sustainable. I'm seeing how that is not sustainable. And so I have got to figure out how to work smarter, not necessarily harder. I want to work hard. I believe in hard work, but I can work smarter, not harder. And as a 48-year-old who is like, I don't want to say I'm not like technologically savvy, but like I'm still baby steps with things like AI when people younger than me are like running circles around me around like building their lives and funnels and thing and blah blah, like all of these, there's systems that they're able to build in real time very quickly. Like I am slow to the game. I am slow to this race, and so it's going to take me a minute to probably use AI in a way that can help me achieve my goals, but like that is like globally I have to figure those things out, but trying to get clear on what it is that I want and what it is that I need. I'm massaging that message, right? So those are like big picture goals that once I feel like I'm pretty dialed in on that, I can then funnel down and sort of say, okay, what do I need to do? What steps do I need to take in order to make the big picture goals possible? Okay. So I don't know that yet. I mean, like I said, I have started a group coaching practice last year, and I'm giving myself the patience of like this might take 1 to 5 years to get off the ground before I'm able to monetize it like in a way that is sustainable. But right now, like money is going out and it's not coming in. Like there's a lot of money being invested that I have not yet seen a return on my investment, right? So if I'm going to now go into the money section of like trying to answer my questions. Do I have my emergency fund covered? And that question is no. My husband and I, we put money away like every month. We try to get to 3 to 6 months of savings, but like we just have not gotten there because either like I've not been able to contribute income because if I'm not working, I don't get paid. And I've not worked a lot. I don't want to say a lot, but I've not worked a lot last year because of my son starting kindergarten and having family emergencies and needing and just this, I don't even want to call it the state of the economy, but like, you know, people are diverting their resources to other things. And so it is not meant like that my income has I've it just the income has not been where it has been in prior years, right? And so I've not been able to contribute to our emergency fund like I would like to. And then guess what? Like, we had life expenses. We're homeowners. Like, you know, we had to pay for an electrician, and we had to pay for AC repair. Like we had to pay for a car. Like all of these one-offs. You know, like what was it? I think we had an $1,800 bill for my car, because my alternator died on my 8-year-old car. Like these expenses have come up, and so yes, it's been great that we've had the money in savings to be able to pay off these things, but it's depleting our emergency fund, and so we're having to build that back up, right? And so we do not have our emergency fund covered, and we're having to think about how to get that back. You know, again, the question becomes, if I were not working for the year, like for whatever reason, let's just say no clients wanted to come to therapy, no one wanted to sign up for group coaching, that alone, or just the fact that like if I have to be available 24/7 for a family member, let's just say I'm not bringing in income, like how are we going to not only pay off our debt, which I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to be honest with you, right? Like the debt that I have incurred, that my business has incurred last year, was $42,188 and some change, right? So there's $42,000 that we have to figure out how to pay that back, and it's currently on a credit card. And again, we're having to figure that out, paying the interest and all of the things, right? On top of the fact that I still have monthly expenses of around $3,500. Like, we have to figure out how to fund my business while also, you know, like contribute to our emergency fund. Now, I will say to you that we are very good about, let's just say, paying ourselves first. So money, like by hook or by crook, money goes into my like SEP and my Roth IRA. Those are monthly contributions that like go in by hook or by crook. My husband contributes to his pension. He works for a municipal government, so he's got like a state sponsored. It's not even a pension, but it's like a 401k. A part of his paycheck goes every month to pay. So we don't even like see that money. Money automatically goes out to my kids like 529 plans. So money is being funded there. Now, we did talk about the fact of like, am I going to have to stop contributing to my SEP in order to figure out how we're going to pay this off? That's up in the air. That's a question that has to, it's an option that we have to consider, because we have this debt, right? Like, how am I going to pay off $42,000 and counting, right? How are we going to pay that off? We don't have a plan yet. Again, outside of me working more hours or him like taking on a second job, like I don't know. We don't know, right? We don't have a plan yet, but we recognize that we do have to pay this off. We want to pay this off, right? Like it's just to be fiscally responsible. I believe in that. I certainly don't believe in paying the credit cards, all this insurance. Again, love you credit cards, because without you, I wouldn't be able to purchase my course. But just for the luxury of you extending me credit, I now owe you like 24.99%. Like, I thank you, but like I'd rather that fund, that interest payment, kind of come back into me and my household and my family. So we are thinking about our emergency fund, our debt payoff strategy. What is my debt payoff strategy? We don't know yet. Um, it is just continuing for me to work. It is continuing for us to think about like cutting some expenses, but that's not gonna cut it, right? Like us cutting back our expenses. I mean, we live below our means. Could we live less, even more so? Absolutely, absolutely. We don't need the Netflix. We don't need the Disney Plus. We could probably cut the cord from cable, but currently, like, that's currently our only form of entertainment, right? Like we don't really travel. We don't like go out. We don't, I mean, we do eat out, but we don't go out to eat. We don't go to the movies. We don't really spend. And so the bulk of our expenses in terms of like entertainment, that is like our only luxury, I guess, which again, we could cut that out if we wanted to, but to do that, I also think is not psychologically, is not sustainable, and would lead to resentment, and would lead to us like having this like impulse purchase that we would just be like, we would just spend frivolously because we've been tight wadded for so long. And we may have to do that for like a year. We may have to consider that, like, especially if let's just say we're going on the extreme end of, let's just say I'm not working, let's just say I'm not bringing in income, how would we make do? It might require that we just cut the cord and cut Netflix and cut Disney Plus and cut all that stuff and live off of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for the foreseeable future. Like, and everything is on the table, but we currently do not have a debt payoff strategy. What big purchases do I have planned for 2026? So last year, our AC unit went on the fritz. We had some guy, come out and like fix it, and it was a temporary fix, right? Like he like plugged a leak and like, which he thinks might be the problem, but he doesn't know. But our house, we've lived in our house. It'll be 9 years. It'll be 9 years. 2017. No, yeah. So how am I not counting? 9 years. Um, and so like things break down, like things need to be replaced. And so we're looking at possibly having to replace our AC unit. We were quoted possibly between $6,000 and $8,000. Now this was before like talk about tariffs and just the cost of living going up. So last year we were quoted about like $6,000, possibly $8,000 for a new AC unit. So we are thinking about that in the back of our mind. That is like the biggest purchase that we foresee happening. But again, life's. And so anything can happen. I have an 8-year-old car. No, it's going to be a 10-year-old car, right? I have a 10-year-old car that, like, Lucy, love you. She's, and I work close to home. So we haven't had a car payment, but like life is lifing, right? Life is lifing. And so anything could happen where an unforeseen expense is going to show up. But for what we know now, we need to come up with about $6,000 to $8,000 to replace our AC unit. So that is like our big purchase for 2026. And then what is like my income revenue target for 2026? I put $75,000 is my income target for 2026 is 75,000, and I break that down with $25,000 to pay off the credit card. Having 6 months, 3 to 6 months of savings is like, another 25,000, and then $25,000 to just like be able to pay off my expenses, which is about 3,000 much. Which, I mean, if you break it down, it's like 36,000. But like if you break it down, the target of $75,000 is allocated to debt payoff service, to monthly business expenses, and then savings. So that is my current, like, if I think about it out loud, it's general, it's not specific yet. That is my income revenue target for 2026, which is, $75,000. That's the target. Again, I can't, I usually like to do this with a calculator where you're like, okay, if it's $70,000, how much would I have to make a month in order to do that? And then you break it down and you break it down and you see what would be ideally what you would want to bring in every month or every week in order to like be on track. So I will do that at some point, But globally, I'm answering these questions. And how much can I increase contributions to the kids' accounts and to my retirement accounts? Honestly, I can't see myself being able to make that increase right now as it stands in January of 2026, because I'm kind of like thinking about like debt payoff service, right? Like I can continue to contribute and I might even have to reduce the contribution, but I right now I don't see how I can increase my contribution to my retirement accounts and to the kids' retirement account. Like they're 529s, right? Like they're there. We're making our current contribution, but I can't see increasing that contribution right now. But if I could increase the contribution, I would like to increase the contribution to each of the accounts an extra like $100 a month for each account. So that would amount to about like $300 for the various like SEP, Roth, and 529 accounts. Actually 400 because I have two kids. So $100 to each of those accounts, $400 a month. I would like to increase. If I can get that, that would be the ideal, is to just increase by $100 a month for each of those accounts, which would be like $400. So that's kind of like the money questions that I have. And so I'm going to stop it right here. And then I will go into the next blocks, which are time and energy blocks, health and wellness, and lifestyle. So follow along for the next planning session, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.